My name is Julia Davis, and in my work I run circles. I bring people together in circle so they can talk without interruption or judgement and deeply listen without needing to solve problems. When we sit in circle, everyone is equal. We can all see each other. This is a story about how Circle saved me. April 2023. I receive a call from my sister. Our cousin Lucy and 2 of her daughters had been shot by a Hamas terrorist while travelling in their car. Lucy's daughters, Maya and Rena, died immediately. Lucy made it to hospital and lived long enough to donate her organs. We are Jewish and funerals were arranged quickly. I made it to Israel just in time for Lucy's funeral. My sister and I are twins, and Lucy was 6 months younger than us. She referred to herself as the third twin. She grew up alongside us in North London and had had children in the UK before emigrating. Lucy was our trailblazer. She was the first to get married, the first to have a child. It felt unimaginable that we would be continuing our lives without her setting the pace. I found it difficult to find a place for my grief. A friend suggested I read the book A Peregrine by Colin McCann. It's a true story about 2 men, one Palestinian and one Israeli, who become friends and bond over their shared grief for their daughters who were both killed. Through reading this book, I discovered a circle for the parents of children who'd been killed in the conflict between the Palestinian and Israeli people. These parents were joined in grief, and they were willing to deeply listen to each other's stories. Through mutual understanding, they forged a path together beyond conflict. This was a circle for Palestinians and Israelis, so it wasn't created with my needs and feelings in mind. I found the wider context of the killing hard to process and couldn't imagine entering my 50s without Lucy. I needed to find a place to process my grief, and it felt logical to look for a grief circle, a place where I could talk without interruption or judgment and deeply listen to the experiences of others. A grief circle didn't feel sufficient though. I felt that if I shared my experience with people who hadn't experienced something similar, my sharing would not be okay. I wanted to find a place where other people's experience would mirror mine more closely. And I did. It was a grief circle held by volunteers who'd experienced murder or manslaughter. While I was nervous about joining the group, when I did, I knew I'd found the right place. The experiences shared by others, while different to mine, felt comparable, so I didn't feel like my sharing was too much of a burden. The complicated nature of being affected by murder made it difficult to share. In this space, I felt safe enough to unpick the context of the killing and try to make sense of it. I was in the compassionate presence of others. Nobody tried to fix me or tell me what to do or how to feel. The volunteers could also signpost us to places where we could solve practical problems too. In this space, nobody undermined or belittled my grief because I wasn't a parent, sibling, or husband. I'd been worried about sharing my own grief with my family because I felt like my grief was so much less important than Lucy's husband, siblings, parents, and children. But I needed a place to process too. My sister and I wanted to find a way to honour Lucy's memory and mark what would have been her 50th birthday. Lucy was the life and soul of a celebration, and she loved Israeli dancing. The last time I saw her was at my sister's son's bar mitzvah, and she lit up the dance floor. Israeli dancing is traditional in Jewish celebrations. We dance in a circle. We arranged an afternoon of Israeli dancing in Lucy's memory, a charity fundraiser. It was joyful, a room full of women dancing all afternoon. With each step, I could imagine Lucy laughing and leading us all in a dance. Although it breaks my heart that Lucy will never dance again, this felt like a really appropriate way to honour her memory. Through my experience of Circle, my belief in its power has been solidified. I believe that this form of human communication is more important than any technological innovation. Could Circle be the key to the mending of human relationships and even the planet.